Yes, welcome to another episode of Ikezy Talksport, and I remain your humble host, Ikezy, and we're here to talk about the post-game review of the North London derby, where Arsenal defeated Tottenham 4-1. A perfect mirror of the first leg that was played at the Emirates Stadium. So, I mean, a few talking points. It was another great day for Eberechi Eze. It was a good day for players like Gyokeres. It was a good day all round for the players. Declan Rice, yes, with that mistake, the one mistake he has made all season, and he immediately, remediated for it. So, it was a solid performance. Honestly, I think we got lucky with the second Spurs equalizer. Yes, I think Kulumani had two hands at the back of Guerrero, but I think it was soft. But we need calls like that because we've been largely unlucky in the previous season when it comes to moments like that. Oftentimes, kind of calls go against us. But yeah, that was good to see. Even though I would expect Gabriel to be better in that kind of situation next time. But in all, it was a great performance. Honestly. Before I go any further, please kindly subscribe to this channel. If you're an Arsenal fan, you watch the Premier League, if you watch La Liga, and if you watch Serie A, I know those are the three leagues, but primarily Premier League and Arsenal. That's what this channel is kind of devoted to. Share your comments, like, so that you can get notified whenever I put out content, and you can always be the first to watch. So thank you very much. Now back to the North London derby. I want to talk about a few things, right? I don't know if I should start with the positives or the negatives. So I'll start with the negatives. In the pre-match, I did say that I wanted a tweak in the lineup. I was hoping Calafiori would start, but boy was I wrong. Nkapie delivered one of his best performances in an Arsenal shirt. And Timber, yes, he got an assist for that Gyokeres goal, but I thought it was a little bit shaky. Yes, it was significantly better than how he has been in previous games, but that is not still the Timber standard, right? He couldn't really get a hold of Jed Spence. And you will see that the moment Mosquera came in, they had to switch Jed Spence to the other side because it was proving problematic. Mosquera is very physical, he's very athletic. Defensively, I think, is much better than Timber. And Timber at the moment isn't really offering much for us going forward. Yes, he got the assist, but normally passes like that don't usually turn into assists. Gyökeres, because of the kind of striker that he is, made that into that assist work because he just took the shot. I will get to Gyökeres in a bit. I thought that Saka had a fair game. It wasn't his best game in an Arsenal shirt, and that's why we have assembled the squad that we have, so that in moments like this, we don't always have to rely on one players. The fact that Eze was able to turn up, players like Zubimendi, Gyökeres, they were able to turn up Nkapie, Saliba as well, secured the win for us, right? So I think it was a good outing. You don't want to lose to Tottenham. That's the thing. You don't want to lose. Also, because of the context of the title race, Man City had won Newcastle earlier. You also don't want to draw that game. We had to win that game, and we won it 4-1 in a very brilliant fashion. I thought Eberechi Eze was going to get an hat-trick again, but I had other ideas. It took him off, brought in Odegaard. Odegaard came in and, gave Gyökeres an assist, and that's what we want to see. Me, personally, before in the pre-match, I said that I have a 30% confidence that we're going to win the league. That has not changed. The reason why it has not changed is because, like I said before, if we win all our games at the end of the season, we win the league. If Man City win all their games at the end of the season, they win the league as it stands. So, that being said, if things start to shift, for example, we win, Man City drop points, then my confidence will shift per time. But I'm still 30% confident. But that's not to take away from the performance against Tottenham. It was brilliant. It was simply brilliant, and more of that to come. If they can take, the remaining 10 games of the season and play the exact same way we played against Tottenham, then we stand a very good chance. It's a difficult fixture coming up next week against Chelsea. It's a game that we have to win. It's a game that we absolutely have to win. And I like the fact that we are facing all these tough teams before the thick end of the season where we are playing the Champions League and then the FA Cup latter stages, right? Because when those Champions League fixtures start to come in, it starts to get harder. Somewhere in between, we're going to play Man City twice in the Carabao final and then at the Etihad. So it's against that we have to build the right momentum towards, so that when we get to those games, we are high flying and then we have the confidence, the momentum is on our side, and we can just sweep them away or at least win those games. So it was a good performance. Chelsea's coming to the Emirates next week. Let's get a job done against them. I'm going to do a pre-match closer to the game time, but just to talk about the game, Chelsea, they struggled against Burnley as we saw. Honestly, I'm not surprised, right? I think the red card that Fofana got was their undoing. I think Palmer too was a little bit complacent, and it's just typical Chelsea. This season and last season, they've just been very epileptic in their form. I've called this out since the beginning of the season. They're not consistent. They keep going on and off and on and off. So um, when they come to the Emery, they're going to be up for it. It's going to be another fight. We've played them 3 times this season, and we have won them twice. So, and we've drawn one. So imagine they would want to at least get one over us. So, and we must not let that happen. We have to beat them. I would accept no other result than a win against Chelsea next week. I think we get a week's rest. The players go rest, recharge. I want players like Havertz back by the weekend. I know Marino is still out long term, and I don't know what's going on with Ben White. It seems to me like maybe it's a fitness issue, because even when they were going to take out Timber, it was Mosquera that he brought in. So I think that's something to watch out for. But anything else, anything to get the job done, I'm up for it. Now, I'll talk about what Arteta said concerning Eberechi Eze, how he said before the game or during the week, Eberechi Eze was kind of angry at Arteta because he didn't play him or he didn't start him against Wolves. And that's what I want to see. I want to see that anger. I want to see that motivation. I want to see that attitude. And then when you are brought on, you have to do your talking on the pitch. That's the best way to convince the manager to play you, right? So with that being said, I hope that Arteta will be able to give him a run of fixtures, a run of games, so that he can build up his confidence. Because Eberechi is a player that can do so much for us. See the first goal he scored, he flicked it up and he scored in that tight corner. We don't have mavericks like that in our team, right? So we need him in certain games. We need him to play games so that he can gain confidence, he can score more goals, and he's a confidence player. If his confidence is high, he will do wonders on the pitch. This guy can take on. He has ball striking ability. He can pass. See the passes he was throwing. Today, if you look back to the weekend game, the passes he was throwing. So this guy, we need to use him, and we need to utilize him effectively. I know Arteta said now he has an idea of how to use him. I hope that is clear now, so we can utilize him for the next 10 games of the season and the Champions League and whatever comes, next. That being said, I want to talk about Gyokeres. If you have been following me on this page, you will know that I've always said that I did not think that Gyokeres was majorly the problem. Yes, he had to adjust to our system, but our system and our players also had to adjust to him. He's a kind of player that he doesn't need so many touches in a game. I've debated this. I've brought in hosts on this podcast. I've told them that, hey, I know a striker is usually judged by the number of goals that he scores. However, if a striker is not scoring goals, you have to look at it objectively. Is it because he's getting chances and he's missing them, or he's not getting chances at all? Now, if he's not getting chances at all, what's happening? Is he making movements and they're not passing the ball, or is not making the movement at all, right? The former is true because he has been making runs, he has been making movement. Our teammates have just failed to find him. But chemistry happens with time. And now it looks like his teammates are starting to find him more. And as a result of that, he's taking more shots and he's scoring more goals. Now, if you look at his conversion rates in 2026 alone, it's amazing. I think in the game against Tottenham, he probably took like 4 shots and he scored 2. That is a ruthless striker. That is a very ruthless striker. If he gets 4 chances and he scores 2, that is a ruthless striker. He was not getting those chances before. That's the difference. Now he's getting those chances, he's scoring. You can see that guy has not forgotten how to score goals. He's very, very clinical. We just need to get the ball to him. That's the ask. That is the entire ask. And I hope that this form continues. Today was Timber and Odegaard. The other day, I think it was Eze. A lot of people have been finding him. Even the clients found him at times today. Amazing. Let it continue, because this guy will score goals. In 2026 alone, he has 10 goal contributions. Now think about that. Think about if he had a proper preseason with us and then we didn't have all the injuries that we had, and then the team has been able to find him, he would have gotten so many more goals. And I know a lot of people come and say, oh, but it scores against the team in the lower end of the league. Tottenham is in the lower end of the league, blah, blah, blah. Look at what he's doing in the Champions League. He scored 2 goals against Atletico Madrid. He scored against Inter Milan. He has scored against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. So he is able to score against top opposition. We just need to find him more. That's it. So brilliant performance by Gyokeres. Another thing I want to single out is the fact that if you notice, and there's been a pattern, whenever we take out Gyokeres towards the end of the game, the opposition tend to play us more. That's because he's actually a presence. He occupies the center backs of the opposition. Now, if you take him out, Jesus will always wander to the wing or come into the middle. Now, it gives the opposition defenders the opportunity to play a higher line. But with Gyokeres, he pegs them back. And if you notice, he played this game to the end of that game and he scored. Because they were always wondering where he was. They were always bothered about him. They were always trying to cancel him out. And it opens the field for our wingers and also our midfielders that make late runs into the box, especially Eberechi Eze. So that's something for Arteta to think about. This guy, you need to keep him on the pitch. You need to absolutely keep him on the pitch. Me, personally, I'm not convinced about Jesus. What happened in the Wolves game, where he did what he did, honestly, for me, that was it. I won't say more than that. And I like the fact that he didn't even, get any minutes in this game. But we will need him in, some games. I think we play, is it Mansfield? In the FA Cup, he can play those games because obviously, regardless of who we play, I think we have enough quality to win them, right? If we're getting to the business end of the season, we need to put our serious players at the forefront. We need to put our best players, on the pitch, and hopefully, this can continue. Like I said, I'm still 30% confident that we win the league. A lot depends on what we do and also what Manchester City does. If they lose games or if they drop points, then that confidence increases. That is if we do not drop points in the same vein. So, that being said, I think that's come to the end of this preview. Sorry, this came a little bit late. I was on the road. I could barely even watch the game. And then, I was far away from my studio. I couldn't really use my phone. So as soon as I got back to the studio, I had to quickly jump in and do this. I'm doing it in the late of the night. It's like 2, 3 a.m. right now. Anyways, thank you guys for, sticking with me up to this point. Thank you for your support as always. I really appreciate. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Like, drop your comment. What did you think about the game? Yes, we own Tottenham at this point, but like I always say, North London Derby is not a big game in my opinion. It's just another game, another win, for us, for Arteta. 5 wins in a row against Tottenham for the first time in many years. I think it was 1980 or 1986 that this happened last. So this is much more welcome. Anyways, we'll come to the end of the section and I'll see you in the next bits. Peace.